What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. In the last video we made some big changes to the old Integra, and we finally came up with a name for her, because I've named all my cars and my boat, and well, since we plasti dipped her and she's got a pretty cool color on, I felt like she needed a name to go with it. And since it's an Integra's, the USDM front end looks like she's wearing glasses, so I was thinking we'll give her a name of a cute girl that wears glasses, and all I can think of is Velma. So this is Velma. But I don't know, it's been like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks since I plasti dipped it, and I'm really happy with the color. I'm not as happy with some of the issues that are in the application itself, like mainly just some of the runs and some of the peel. I tried to peel the tape off while it was still wet so it wouldn't do this, and it did it anyway. I just couldn't get it off fast enough. But all in all, it's growing on me a lot. Like I love the way it looks. So it's definitely a unique color, and it catches the sun. The pearl catches the sun and does some pretty cool things. But what we're going to do today is going to take the traction bar. I have a Maxpeedingrods traction bar that is on the EG. We were going to build a weight plate to go on that, but I think I'm going to move it over and actually just put it on this car, because well, let's face it, that project is kind of completely stalled, and I'm focusing on this one. And well, that's just where I'm at. Like, this car's become the main project, so we're gonna take the traction bar off the old Civic, and we're gonna put it on Velma. Just to have something to do, I guess. Just so me and the boy can be outside. But I'm gonna get started on that. I'm gonna get started taking that one off, and then I'll bring it over to Velma and I'll explain what's going on with it. Alright, so this is the traction bar that was on the EG. I never installed the radius arms. I never put them on. So they're, it's all brand new in the bag. There's a little bit of rust on the actual bar itself, but that's the only part that we ever actually installed on the EG. The rest of it, however, is pretty much brand new condition. It's just been sitting in the bag inside of that car for like a year and a half. And like I said, that it might be done one day, but that project's kind of on the back burner for now. And this is Velma's become the focus. So probably going to be changing the name of this playlist that this is going in. I'm probably just going to change it to Velma. Well, it's pretty simple. It mounts where your tow hook go. I gotta jack the car up and get up under there. If you're watching this, I'm sure you've put a traction bar on a Honda before. But what it really does is it puts tension on the whole strut assembly, and it's supposed to help eliminate wheel hop. because right now, like, this can all move front to back, and that creates wheel hop. So this is supposed to lock it down and stiffen it up so it doesn't do that. But I gotta jack the car up and get up under there, and then I'll show you more of what I'm talking about. But the specs on this traction bar is it's not a fancy name brand one. They all do the same thing. And some of them are cool, you know, like some of them are made with a weight plate on them. Most of them, most people just weld a weight plate to it. And that helps with traction and front wheel drive a lot too. This one is a Maxpeedingrods traction bar. It's one of the cheaper ones you can get. But they work, so I'm gonna use it. That's about it. You know, like, I don't see the need in spending $200-300 on a traction bar from K-tuned, or, you know, it might be better quality than that, but it does the same thing as this one, which is like $100 maybe. I can't remember exactly what that one cost, but it wasn't much at all. But anyway, let me get this car jacked up and get up under there. Alright, so what we're gonna do first is wait for this jet to pass. So, these two bolts here in your control arm, there's a nut and then there's a bolt on the other side. Those are both going to have to be removed. And it's easier if you start here instead of starting with the tow hook over here. Just start there. Alright, so we're going to take this one and this one, and then this plate, these brackets will go in there just like this. The bracket will go there just like that, and that is what will tie your traction bar to your suspension. Alright, so the next step, I'll put my bolt in through the bottom. You can do it from the top, it doesn't really matter. But it's bolt and then a spacer, then the swivel joint from the radius arm, another spacer, and then the nut. And that's the way you do it. The head of this bolt in particular is a 19 or is a 18, and the nut is a 19. I hate how they do stuff like that and mismatched hardware, but... And the two bolts on the control arm, they're both 17s. I hate how they're different sizes, but that's what came with the bar. So, that's the way it works. And once you have the main bar mounted up here... Let's see. Once you have the main bar up here, this radius arm will connect to it. And you'll install it the same way. It'll be bolt, bar, spacer, spacer, bar, nut. That way. So you need the spacers so that this bearing in here will still swivel. If you don't put the spacers in, it won't swivel. But let's see, that's tight. It's a little hard to film up under here. I'm trying though. That's tight. So then I'm gonna put both sides on, and then we will go and take the tow hooks off and mount the traction bar we'll take these tow hooks off and mount the flat bar across. I'm gonna have to move that line up out of there. But we'll mount the bar and then we'll attach it here. I want to do the arms first. Like, I want to put them on the control arms first, mount the radius rods, and then come back and put the main bar on. It's just easier to do it that way. It's easier to do it that way. Attach it there first, let the arms hang, let the rods hang, and then come back and put the then come back and do the actual traction bar later. But anyway, now I gotta let this side down, move to the other side. Alright guys, well, it took way longer than it should have because I had to bend the brackets down here. Those brackets, I had to bend those because it wouldn't fit against the frame rail correctly. So it took way longer than it should have, but it's finally fully installed all the way across. This is what I was talking about. So it's bolt, spacer, swivel, spacer, nut. And once you get all of that in, you tighten down these jam nuts here and here on ends of both rods, and then you're good to go. I also had to bend this AC line out of the way. So if you're putting the traction bar on and you have AC, and this bracket right here where that hard line runs through the AC, it might get in the way. You might have to bend the line up out of the way some. But once you get it out of the way, the traction bar just bolts up. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Installing a traction bar is pretty easy. It should only take about 30 to 45 minutes, maybe an hour, but in my case it took a little bit longer because I had to bend the traction bar because I had previously installed it on the EG, and I guess when I tightened it down on that car it bent a little bit. And because I had that AC line in the way, I had to bend it. But straight out of the box, it should fit perfectly. Like I said, it shouldn't take you as long as it took me to do this. It should just be simple and easy. But anyway, that's it for this video. Let me know what you guys think of Velma. It's come a long way. We've owned this car for almost a year now. It's almost been a whole year. And she's come a long way since we got her. But I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless.